Hello, Adrian here from Jaskiran Astrology. It's been a little while. I took the end of June through the beginning of July off, and so I haven't been posting videos really for nearly a month now, and I'm back and well rested, spent some time out in nature. And I wanted to pop on here today, even though it is not a moon. The new moon has already passed, but we are into some exciting times, and many astrologers are talking about the new alignments coming up, and I wanted to jump on and give my perspective of this basket that began today at 10:45 a.m. And will last for the next several days. Um, yeah, so that's where I am right now. The other thing that is happening this week, a week from tomorrow, is that the lunar nodes will be moving from Pisces Virgo axis into the Leo Aquarius axis. And I think this is all very important as to what is coming up for all of us, and the individuals and the collective. So let's get right to the chart here. Let me share the chart. Okay, so this is not the chart I wish to share first. This one is. All right. So this was this morning's chart. Happened at 10:45 this morning. And that's when Jupiter moved right into Leo. So the way that I want to do this, let's make is I want to talk about the basket. And so we're going to discuss Pluto and Neptune and Uranus and Jupiter. These are the four planets that are making up the basket. And they're all exactly sextile. Um, Not to the minute, but definitely to the degree. And I want to talk about the significance of all of it. So let's start with Pluto, because in evolutionary astrology, Pluto is the bottom line. It's the reason for incarnation, and it is the soul journey that we're working on right now. And as you know, Pluto spent 16 years moving through the sign of Capricorn, where we have been uncovering our emotional attachments to the status quo, the external authority, the rules, the laws, the regulations that have been guiding humanity for quite some time. In fact, there are those that say that this paradigm has been going on for about 6,000 years. And if you remember back in February, we had a very new alignment with Saturn and Neptune, where they met at the 0 degree point of Aries, which was the initiation of a brand new cycle of the way that we perceive and align with the reality. So before I get into the Saturn Neptune, let me go back and look at Pluto. So Pluto is the planet of unconscious emotional attachments. It is based out of loss, abandonment, and betrayal. These are the emotions that hold us back, keep us kind of stuck from moving forward. And in the sign of Aquarius, the sign of the people, the community, it's about breaking free from limitations. And so when Pluto is in Aquarius and it moved in permanently in January of 2024, and has now only moved 4 degrees. Actually, it moved 5, but it's been retrograding back, and it is continuing to be retrograde. And when a planet is retrograde, it's just accelerating the journey, making it happen a little bit faster. So right now we're having an acceleration of the freeing of ourselves from the emotional attachments to everything that has come on from before. That's the bottom line. And in this breaking free, it's the sign of freedom. It's a liberation from what has gone on in the past and allows us to individuate. Now, the polarity point of Pluto is the direction of evolution. And the direction of evolution is Leo at 4 degrees at this point, which is where we find Jupiter right now. And before too long, they will align exactly in the next several days. But Jupiter is expanding this Leo energy, and Leo is the sign of authenticity, self-validation, um, artistic expression, any kind of expression. Leo is the sign that the sun rules, the sun shines its light. And when we're functioning from our Leo aspect, we are shining our authentic light into the world. And that is the direction that Pluto is urging us to go. So now I want to go ahead and talk about Neptune. Neptune was the next planet to move into a new sign. It moved into the sign of Aries, like I said, on the 20th of February. And it moved in with Saturn. And Saturn, let me just briefly talk about Saturn, even though it's not part of the basket. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and it's the structure of reality. It's the rules, laws, regulations that we follow. And in Aries, what it is suggesting is that we are crystallizing a new set of rules, laws, and regulations. Now, when the two planets were conjunct, which they're just out of conjunction, Saturn is getting ready to retrograde back, and they will be in conjunction again, where we will be accelerating this journey. But when the two planets together, they speak and they pass their information on to each other. So this past rules, laws, regulations, external authority has been dissolved by Neptune, because Neptune is the great dissolver, and it's dissolving our old sense of self and really crystallizing a new, more spiritual presentation of ourselves. And so at 4 degrees Aries, Neptune is continuing to do such a thing for us. Let's go into talk about Uranus. Now, Uranus is the planet that rules Aquarius, so Uranus is ruling Pluto at this time. And in the sign of Gemini, Gemini is the left brain. It's the way we perceive reality. It's the way our minds pay attention to what is and grabs it in and forms a perspective. So in Gemini, and there are many perspectives. This is the fracturing. What Uranus does is break apart whatever it's touching, and it's breaking apart the perspective by which we have been paying attention. We say that it is the sign of progress, and so we know that Uranus in Gemini is bringing AI, but it's bringing many other things. It's bringing a more organic sense of the mind. I don't know if any of you have been recognizing that you'll have communications with people and you'll either be thinking or talking about the same thing. Somebody will speak something that is exactly on your mind. That's going to be happening more and more. This is an upgrade of our communication and our mental functions. So it's happening internally and externally. And then finally, Jupiter, which moved in this morning at 10:45 a.m. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It rules Sagittarius. Sagittarius at its base is about freedom. It's about natural law. It's like the freedom that a wild animal holds. It's like being in nature. And it is expanding that natural sense of our authenticity. In other words, when we were born, we've all been conditioned to fit into society so that we would be accepted and could participate in the society. And as such, we've had to smother parts of ourselves, and those parts of ourselves become our shadow. And we've been, over the last several months, exposing what these shadow parts are, but slowly moving to a sense of authenticity. We're trying to let go of the conditioning and become more authentic, um, come more from our hearts, from what makes us happy and excited. And so this is the basket. This is talking about breaking free from all of the past, starting something new that is on a more spiritual level and coming directly from the heart, expanding that heart, and in the process of it, shifting the perspective that we're looking at, that we're coming from. And the thing that I find so interesting is that all of these planets are at the number 4. And the number 4 in numerology is the number of stability, like the legs on a table or a chair. 4 is very stable. It's really the number of Saturn, Capricorn. It's the stability, the reality that holds place. So what I think that this basket is talking about is we are shifting our perspective. We're ushering a new, more spiritual alignment of ourselves. We are becoming ourselves, and we're starting to expand what's coming from our heart, because it is in the heart that we actually talk with source energy. And this number 4 tells me that we are literally solidifying a new reality, and it's happening today. Today, something new is here, and we all get to participate. Everybody will have a different energy coming from their heart because we're all different beings. So this is the basket. Um, I do want to speak a little bit about Uranus and Pluto, because these two planets are trine. These two planets are trine, and everybody else is sextile. So let's start with Pluto and Uranus. I did a little piece about it. You can check out through my library and look at the presentation that I did about Neptune and Pluto. They made their conjunction in 1965 and 1966. And during those times, we had the beginning of the civil rights movement. We had the beginning of the women's lib movement, and the hippie movement started. And all of these energies were helping us to break free from, oh, and they happened in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is about the details, separation. It seems to link to hierarchy in some examples. It's about the work that Virgo is ruled by Gemini, which is Mercury, which is an air sign, an air planet, thought, and it's an earth sign. So it's about taking thought and putting it into reality. When these two planets came together, it was the breaking free of a particular way of seeing reality. And the reality that was breaking apart was this hierarchical structure that we've all been living through. And so it's what kept Blacks separate from the society, and such the civil rights movement. Women even were just able to have bank accounts even in the 70s. And so it allowed that separation um, from the separation of women. And then in the hippie movement, what it did was the beginning of this individuation process. This is the Uranus energy. And so now where we are is at the trine. And at the trine, which is it's an easy movement with a trine, but with a trine, because the energy is harmonizing and integrative, it's also something that we don't necessarily have to push forward. Not like in the conjunction where everybody was moving towards making change. Here we have the possibility of change, but we really have to take it. We have to grasp it. Interestingly enough, the sextiles act similarly. That a sextile is Taurian energy. It's the energy of taking things, embodying things into the self to make them part of the self. And all of these are first quarter or waxing sextiles. So it's taking the energy and moving it into the self. And laziness can happen. You know, we're our energy has been such of moving outward, and now it's time to move inward, and we can be lazy about that. And so both these trines and sextiles really give us the possibility, the energy is there for us to become our individuated selves and come from our heart and align more spiritually and shift our perspective, but we don't have to. Um, and it really depends where each of us are in this journey. So the next thing that I want to show us, I want to move to the next chart. Begins today. It's going to last 3 days. I'm going to go ahead and advance the chart. Oops. I'm going to first get rid of the drawings. And then I'm going to go ahead and advance the chart 1, 2, 3 days. Oops, 4 days. On the fourth day, Jupiter moves into 5 degrees. So this basket, this energy is really for the next 4 days we have to really bring in this energy. And it's going to be a little bit of a push. All right, let's skip to the 26th. This is next Sunday at 8:48 p.m. The nodes here have moved in. This is the exact moment that the nodes move into Aquarius and Leo. And I find this significant because we have just solidified a new reality. And now the North Node is in Leo, which is the direction of our emotional evolution. And this is to really to break free from all of the limitations. And the South Node is to is the past. It's the past way that we have shown our light, the past way. And we're going to integrate this. uh, Let me say this another way. It's the past. The past can be as children. We were naturally ourselves as children. We didn't start to smother parts of ourselves until later. We don't have the ability to do that until we get to be around 7, and then life happens and we just move over and we forget. So we're going to go back and we're going to uncover these natural ways and integrate them so that we can become our unique selves. And it's interesting that this is happening while the sun now at the 4 degrees. So the sun has replaced Jupiter, and all the planets are still in the outer planets are all still at 4 degrees. So we have now the same basket, but it's been replaced by the sun, which is the sign of Leo. So this is a extra double energy of Leonian energy of being able to validate ourselves instead of being validated by the external. And yeah, This this is what's happening. We are individuating and we all have the choice to be able to do it. And it won't necessarily be easy. We may have to work at it. And it's okay if we, try and fail and try and fail. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. But ultimately, Pluto will be in Aquarius for the next, I think 17 and a half more years. And so we have plenty of time to be able to work this out. The nodes will be in Leo and Aquarius for the next year and a half. And in this time, we will be integrating our individuation. And so, as we solidify this new reality, at the same time, we are solidifying a new sense of self. And it's not something that's going to be given to us. We really have to take it. It is us. We just have to shine that true light. So I did want to get on here and talk about this energy, and hopefully this has been helpful for you. I'm going to stop the share there. So anyway, I'm gonna put in the comments below a link to my website and also to my Substack. My Substack report is written, it's usually long and very in depth about all the alignments and what they mean. And if you're interested in seeing how these alignments are affecting you and how I might assist you in heading toward your individuality, please reach out. Um, yeah, I hope you all have a great week. This is an intense and exciting week, and I wish you all well. Thanks for listening.